All right, welcome. We're here with another 10 Minutes with. Today, our guest, thanks, Kate. I appreciate the Home Alone reference there. Our guest is the co-host of the Sports Bliss with Rob and Kris. Please welcome Rob and Kristie. Thanks for being on the show today with us.
Hi, thank you for having us.
So we like doing this, bringing everybody in, kind of hyping your show, give you a chance to introduce yourselves, get on camera. So let's go right in. How did the two of you meet and start a podcast? I guess that's going to be kind of a longer story.
So to fast forward past the pre-stuff, we're married. So we're a married couple, and we worked in the same type of job. So we really didn't want to bring that conversation home all the time. And we both love sports. And so we would just sit around and talk about sports all the time, different things. And I would jab her about being a Gator. She would jab me about being a UCF Knight. And it was always kind of this conversation of, as she calls it, Power 5. I call it Power 6. Power 5 versus
you
Group
earned that national championship.
That's debatable.
Well, we still argue this. I even showed her from the NCAA website. It's legit. It's there.
It's up on the press box, so it's legit.
And it's in the record books.
It's at a pity.
So,
just like my alma mater claims the 1932 NCAA basketball championship as our lone national championship.
Hey, DJ, I forget. Where did you go to college again?
The University of... No, I'm not going to say. No, I was going to say. No, I went to Purdue. Thank you. As we've talked about in our last several episodes.
And a link between UCF and Purdue is that Blake Bortles, he was offered scholarship to Purdue, but as a tight end. And UCF was the only place that would offer him a quarterback. So that's how he ended up at UCF, actually.
I didn't know that. That's broke some news.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Interesting.
So that's how we kind of started it. And we would have these conversations and debates. And then we just enjoyed it. So we said, let's just record it and try a podcast, see how it goes.
Yeah, usually our conversations would get very heated and they're very comical. Everybody around us was like, you guys are hilarious. You should just record what you're saying. So we just decided to do that, just kind of, talk about sports, whatever,
Yeah, and we kind of get off topic a lot of times too, talk about kind of social issues. And, we focus a lot on how sports affects society in a way and how it affects our lives and kind of extrapolate that to other people around. And I'm always kind of interested in the business side. So I bring the kind of boring numbers to her to kind of use support of why things happen the way they do in sports. And it always goes back to money, as we know.
Of course. I was listening to one of your recent episodes when you were discussing about, like the NCAA and Mark Emmert, the president, getting trashed over if there's no students. That was a pretty in-depth discussion. That's you don't hear a lot of discussions like that on podcasts. It's usually more towards the stats. You definitely have a very, very unique show that you run there.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're interested in. And I just, everybody talks about the same type of things. So I was like, well, what can we talk about a little different that's interesting to me? And I like to kind of know the behind the scenes things. So it's just that's what interests me. So we talk about it. Hopefully other people find it interesting too.
Yeah, we want to make it to where even if you don't follow sports, we make it very easy for you to understand. And there's a lot of things that I don't know that I'll ask him questions and he'll just explain things most of the time.
Yeah, we'll even do some true crime, involving sports stars, different things, just to kind of mix it up. Just
so
make it a little different.
Did OJ do it?
Oh yeah, he did it.
I've allegedly.
Well, the civil court case says yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Criminal. No. Yeah. Anyway, for a reading, I started reading this a while back. The Run of His Life. This is actually the reference for the TV series from a couple years ago.
Oh, nice.
I did actually watch that TV series. I think I watched it for 2 days, just binge watched it on Netflix.
I was watching it, real time, week to week, and I still crack. It's bad form to laugh at your own jokes, but we got to the final episode, and I said, man, this has been a great series, and we're going into the final episode, and I hope they fix the ending.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So it's funny. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing the Bronco. on TV, and it's like it was crazy. You're like OJ, like what's going on?
I mean, it was unreal. I mean, it interrupted the NBA finals.
Exactly
we were watching some guy drive 40 miles an hour down the interstate and
down the highway.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
I mean, it's weird stuff. So, Kate, you've been quiet over there.
Just asked about OJ.
I guess
And I have to say, I'm shocked that you know how to read.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I did go to public school, but yes, I can read.
Proof that it works.
So since we're talking about the past, what advice would you give first episode hosts now that you've had experience?
Good segue.
That makes sense. Just go with it.
I definitely would give some advice. Just stay authentic to yourself. And if you think you're doing enough, just go a little bit further, because in the beginning we held back a lot. And it took us a few, episodes, maybe 20, 30 episodes to get through just to get the hang of it. And we felt that once we went that extra mile, it actually paid off in the long run. So I would say just be authentic to yourself and just go a little bit further.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to experiment and do different things, to be a little different than other people. Just talk about what you like to talk about. And of course, the normal things, focus on hopefully the quality of it. I think that's big, because people will turn it off if it doesn't sound good.
Right.
No matter what the content is. So it's got to be easy to listen to.
Yes. And don't be afraid to ask people what they want to hear or what they want to listen to. I think that's actually a very good tip that I got from another podcaster. And basically they said, go on Instagram, utilize, the poll questions and your stories, see what people are interested in, and then go off of that.
Good advice. Yeah. One thing we learned too very early on is when you first start, the most frustrating thing for people is when you first start, nobody's listening. Nobody outside of your friends and family are listening. And that is the perfect time to find your voice in this. That when people do
I agree.
Start listening, you got it. You've got the routine down.
And they'll usually give you real criticism too. That'll help you. So it's like, we had friends in the beginning. They were like, listen, your volumes are off a little bit, this, that. And we fixed it and we sounded better. I mean, and they were like, oh, it comes through better when we listen to it now. So that was, I think, listen to people when they give you feedback. Don't take it personally.
Right.
My mom's admitted she doesn't listen to ours.
Aww.
But she loves the lads, who's also on the network. So I don't know.
Yeah, won't listen to your own show, but listen to one of our partner shows, of course. Go for you. So, my dad actually figured out how to download and listen to podcasts. I was listening to your show the other day. I'm like, oh crap, better watch what I say.
I can't talk about dad anymore.
Yeah, no dad jokes there. So, yeah. All right. So, Kate, did you actually start the timer?
I did, and
yes.
We're actually at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. We're running on schedule. I don't know.
No way. It only took us 5 times. So, all right, let's have it. Hype the show, hype the social media.
Yeah, so we are Sports Bliss with Rob and Kris. You can find us on Instagram. That's where we are the most active, and on Facebook, both at Sports Bliss with Rob and Kris. We talk everything sports, news, sports conspiracies, sports true crime, even if you want to come and have a laugh, every Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. And you can find us on any
major platform.
Wherever you download your podcasts.
Yep. Exactly.
Have you guys gotten into the Pandora podcast yet?
No, we haven't gotten into that one yet.
So fun disclaimer is they take, with Apple, you're up in maybe a day or two. Pandora can take 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think I applied for that recently, and I haven't heard a word back.
I got, it was
on the wait list.
a month and a half later, it finally got, hey, welcome to SiriusXM Pandora podcast. I'm like, hey, I forgot I even applied to this. So
exactly.
Crazy.
The more you get out there, the better chance you have being heard. So,
Rick, DJ, you're about to ruin it. You have 10 seconds.
All right. So, thanks for being on the show today. Follow us at stadiumscene.tv, at Stadium Scene on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, at Stadium_Scene on Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Bye. How was I?
2 seconds over.
You can speed up the last part.
Yeah, just edit that last little part out.